Hey, Mama. Welcome back to the Mom Walk Collective podcast. I'm Jamie.
And I'm Ari.
And I'm Savannah, and we're just three moms trying to navigate through motherhood.
Okay, guys. So, we're keeping it really light tonight, okay?
We've had
Tonight we're going to talk
weeks.
about
Yeah.
Tonight we're going to talk about some things that you just didn't know were going to happen after pregnancy, like, the spraying of your milk in the shower. So, I mean, do you guys have like a funny story to start? Because I can start about the shower one if you'd like.
I just think it's so funny. I want to hear the shower one, but these are the things that no one ever really prepares you for. People tell you, and they're like before you are in the season of trying to have kids or before you're pregnant or anything like that, and someone tells you oh, nipple covers, and you're like, what?
Huh?
Like sticky boobs? Literally, that's the first thing that comes to mind, and you're like, no.
Nipstick.
Yeah.
Hey guys, it was Coachella last weekend, so there were probably plenty of little nip sticks out there.
Nip
Oh,
sticks
sure.
or nip
Stickers.
slips?
Like like stickers. Like how like some people would put like the flower on them, or some people would put
like the
you know,
pasties.
yeah,
Yeah.
little pasties. There you go. I don't know why I call them nip sticks, but
Oh,
I
that's
think that should be
funny.
branded.
I
Yeah, I kinda
literally
like
thought
that.
you were talking about someone's nipple being like a stick. And I thought you were saying a nip stick this whole
Jamie,
time. And I'm
we're not
like,
talking about your nursing nipples.
guys, my family has not family. That's really weird to say. My sister labeled me since I was little. She goes, "You have skittle nipples," and anywho, we'll get into it tonight. Ari, let's hear about the
You
things that
spraying in the shower.
yeah.
Okay, I think if you're like in the new motherhood stage, you have heard take some time for your milk to come in. Like it may not come in right away. Well, that was true for me. It didn't come in right away. I was like pumping out like little driplets, like trying to gum my baby's like colostrum. And but when it did come in, dude, those puppies were engorged and my boobs are big, so they were like just like massive, like it just makes my back thinking about it. Makes my back hurt, sorry. Um and I remember one time in the shower, like the baby started crying, and I like want to like tried to like squeeze my boob because it just hurt so bad to try and release some pressure, and it just started spraying and ricocheting, and I was like, and one time I tried to just like and like spray it into one of their mouths, but they were so little at that age.
Okay, one time I had something like that happen. Lincoln was really little and he was nursing and he whipped his head back and it kept spraying and it literally just completely drenched his face. And I was like, well, sorry.
That's happened so many times. I remember one time I was traveling for work and I was trying to pump, and the thing when you hear a baby cry, it's a real thing. And
Mm-hmm.
I went to the bathroom and my entire shirt was wet and I had no idea. And I had to walk around the airport like that.
Honestly, it's like one of those things that like once you've gone through that, you like just feel for the mom when you see them. But
Oh
like when it's
yeah.
happening to you and it's the first child, you're just like, everybody looks at me like I'm so weird. I remember we were at a restaurant one time and I get up from the table from sitting down and my mom's like, and I'm like, and I'm just wearing a white dress and it's just drenched. And I'm like, well, and we're supposed to be walking around afterwards. I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
So those nipple pads really do come in handy.
See, the thing is, I hated wearing them. I don't know about you guys, but it was always so uncomfortable because, well, I ended up wearing silverettes. Did you guys ever use silverettes? Oh my gosh. Savannah, you didn't? Oh. Did your nipples ever get sore when you were nursing?
In the beginning they were.
Okay. Next kid, I'm going to get you these for the beginning. But there's these
Okay.
little silver covers, I guess. I don't even know how
Mhm.
would you describe them that you wear. And As Ari almost flashes the camera.
I didn't flash. I just pat the nipple, you know?
Oh.
Like, it's on that
I
nip.
only see from your like your chest up, so I literally thought you were like, woo. Um,
Hey.
if you guys didn't know and you're only listening to this, we also have a video version on YouTube, and we'll like you can also watch the video version on Spotify. So that's why I was like, whoa, Ari, this is not OF. This is a mom podcast. But anywho, I wore silverettes majority of the time, and then anytime I wore the nipple pads, like to absorb all of it, it hurt so bad. Like I don't know why, so I never used it. So I literally would pull off these like silverettes and have like a mini bowl of milk and be like, "Here you go." Like
Yeah,
Oh,
I
man.
remember actually drinking, or not drinking, like how little they would drink, like 15 milliliters. Now I look at like when I take like, cold or flu medicine, I'm like, whoa, that was literally their entire
Yeah,
meal sometimes. Or when they were that
that's
little. So that little shot probably was it. That was
yeah.
probably a good little meal for Mr. Lincoln.
probably, honestly.
You're just like, doop, doop, doop.
Like,
Yeah.
here you go. Savannah, what was like the one thing that you were like, I did not expect this? Like, what the heck?
So my biggest thing, and I tell everyone now, was the first ultrasound. I went in at 8 weeks, and we get into the room. My husband's with me. We get into the room, and the ultrasound tech's like, "Okay, you're gonna have to take off your pants," and I'm like, I literally snapped my neck so fast to Jacob, and I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "What?" And then she's like, "Yeah, the baby's too little. Like, we won't be able to hear the heartbeat on your stomach, so we have to go inside." And I was like, and there's like this long stick, and you're just like, "What? That's going inside?" And then, yeah, I just was so shocked. It was the most awkward thing. It was like getting a pap smear. My husband's in the room, basically. But
Mm-hmm.
It's so
And
I
funny.
tell everyone that.
did they at least warm up the lube for you?
I don't remember.
Oh, see, I had so many
Hopefully.
ultrasounds as a twin mom, and sometimes they had the lube warmed up, and sometimes they didn't, and that was not fun.
Which also they're so aggressive with the lube. Like I mean, I understand why and I'm thankful that they are, but
I'm like, do you want them not to be?
well,
Yeah.
no, but like I just have memories because the center I went to, it wasn't like individual lube packets where they would like put it on and like they had it in like one of those warmers or whatever, and then it almost looks like it's in like a ketchup bottle or whatever, and they
Yeah.
like squeeze it on.
Yep.
She literally was like, and then she would like kind of like move it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so aggressive.
Yeah.
Like you're already sitting there with your legs like wide open, and like she's just taking this like long stick and this ketchup bottle of lube, like
Yeah.
lubing it up. Let's see what the baby looks like. I was
The
like,
awkward part is when you like have to like wipe yourself clean because then you're just like
Yeah.
about to like go out into the public.
which is so true. And you use, okay, maybe you guys didn't, but like they never give you enough. So, like, know how on the table it's like the sanitary thing? You always end up using that as like extra because you're trying to get fully dry down there. And you're like, oh my gosh.
Oh, so
Yeah,
funny.
yeah. Oh, the joys of the doctor's office in the early days, you know? Yeah.
It's so funny. I'm trying to think about things that like caught me off guard in pregnancy versus like I mean, I have a ton more that I'll talk about like once having Lincoln, but I'm trying to think when I was pregnant. Oh, the first things that really threw me off was like how much it's mine started when I was pregnant, but got even worse after having Lincoln. But your body odor changes and it
Mm-hmm.
smells so bad. And I had no idea. Like, literally, I used to wake up and Charlie'd be like, you smell homeless. Like, you literally smell homeless. Like, he's like, you took a shower last night and I don't know what happened overnight, but you woke up smelling homeless. Like, my BO was so bad. And then finally, someone told me once I was like, had Lincoln, they're like, oh, you have really strong body odor because that's how your baby finds you. Like, that's how they know your
Mm-hmm.
scent. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm a natural
Oh, I'm
deodorant
learning
girly.
something new.
Oh, Look at that. Oh wait, so
You didn't
Because
know
I
that?
feel like I smell all the time and I hate it. I like shower like 3 times a day because it grosses me out. And same thing, Jacob will be like, "You stink, go shower." And I'm so self-conscious. But I mean, I knew babies smelt you, but I was just like, okay, it's obviously a hormone thing. And yeah,
well, little
that's
did
good
you
to
Yeah.
know.
know.
There you go. But are you
Smell.
guys are you a natural deodorant girly or are you an old school girly?
I'm gonna spray that shit all over. Dove, like, put it in between the sweaty
Yeah.
boobies.
I'm an old school too. I've tried the natural and it doesn't work for me.
See, this is the first time I like said that this week, as I might like. No, see, I don't, guys. I just smelt my armpit for anyone who's listening. It has been 3.5 years. I have been trying to be a natural deodorant girly and like sticking to it. So for 3.5 years, I've been using natural deodorant. And just this week, I said to myself, I don't really smell. And maybe it's just because I'm
Wow.
used to myself. And so I just can't smell it. Like I feel like you understand when you smell dirty or like you like stink. But
Yeah.
I don't I don't smell anymore. Which doesn't mean I don't
Mm.
sweat. I still definitely sweat. Um, but I don't feel like my sweat stinks. The fact that it took 3.5 years, would I say it's worth it? Probably not. Maybe in the
Yeah, I was
long
gonna say
run.
that's some
That's like a
commitment
long
right
time.
Yeah,
there.
that
But do you
is.
guys want the only reason why is because I've had so many random deodorant brand deals for like non-toxic deodorants that I haven't bought in deodorant in 3.5 years. So I've just been going like every time I run out of a deodorant, I like go under the sink and be like, what scent now? And like have just been trying a new one. But right after I had Lincoln, I was a stanky gal. Like it was bad.
I mean, Lincoln found that booby and he was
Yeah.
like, I am happy.
He is a booby boy.
Okay, I have a funny story. Don't know if this is like super relatable, but in the hospital, they put the catheter inside me because I had a C section. Never did I ever think I would love a catheter, but like it was the middle of the night because they had to leave it in for like I think 18 or 19 hours before like I could stand up by myself and go to the bathroom. And when they were taking it out, I'm like, what are you taking out? And they're like, the catheter. I'm like, is that my pee? Am I going pee right now? Do I not know I'm going pee? Obviously, I'm probably still looped up on drugs, but I'm just like, no, please don't take it. I don't need to stand up right now, please. And I never thought I would love a catheter in that moment. Like, I know it's important for us to stand up after surgery, but like at like 3 a.m., why?
Yeah.
Why?
Honestly, really bizarre timing.
Like, why? I mean, at least the nurse was cool. You know, that I mean, they're up there.
Oh,
Which you
Yeah.
guys had vaginal births, so you guys are used to people really up there, probably.
Oh yeah. Like checking you out. I got so comfortable. I was always the type that was like not really liking to get naked in front of people.
Yeah.
By the time I had Rue, I was like, here you go. You see it all. You want to touch my stomach? You want to open my legs? Here you go. Like,
Isn't it so wild? Like, I just think even my maternity shoot, I was like, I'd never gotten naked so quickly in my life in front of a stranger.
yeah.
It was just like boom, and like, oh, okay, we're like in between caves and things like this, and like I would assume nobody's walking all the way back here, but like I just met you and I'm fully naked. I think I kept underwear on, but you know.
isn't it those so crazy how like when you get pregnant, like and you are like bumping, like when to the point where like you're bumping, since you can't see down there, you're like for me it's more confident because I'm like, well, I just can't even see it. So like I just see the bump and I'm a little more confident and stuff. But I feel like it's so true. Like every not every, I can't say that. Some women um it may not have that experience, but I feel like too, like it was like fun looking at yourself naked in an aspect of like, whoa, like this is a true miracle, and like still in awe
Mhm.
and shock that like your body can do this, and you're like looking like
Mm-hmm.
there's a human inside of me. Like this is
Mhm.
nuts. Like so crazy. So then when you get those moments to kind of like show off the bump, you're like, oh, like wow. Which I have a really funny story showing off the bump. Um I was pregnant the same time Rihanna was pregnant. We all were pregnant the same
Oh,
time Rihanna was
Oh.
pregnant.
yeah.
All three of us. And I was at my friend's. She like lives in an apartment complex uh, inland from here and stuff. And I was like, none of my swimsuits fit besides like a tiny bikini because like nothing was just working. Like my boobs had grown huge, my butt, my hips, like everything. And so I was in just like a smaller bikini of the one that fit. And this like woman came up to me. She's like older, like probably in her like 50s or 60s. And she goes, oh, you are having your Rihanna moment. Like, yes, Riri. And she's like, I love it. Let the bump out. And I was like, I like just kind of embraced it. I was like, yeah, like I can. And it was so funny. But my friend is like, she just started hysterically laughing because this woman, she had been out sitting by the pool, like drinking, like she had her box wine and was like sitting at the pool table in her complex, just like enjoying the beautiful day. And we were the only ones that were at the pool. Like it's this huge complex and it was empty besides her box wine, and then me and my friend. And the box wine was important because it sets up how she was acting. Um, but it was so funny of just like she's like, yeah, Riri, like let that bump out, like you rock it. And I was like, yeah, I will.
You're like, thank you. I will.
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I feel like there's like a stage where you hate getting dressed when like your body hasn't like fully bumped out and like you're like, I don't fit my normal clothes, but I also
Mhm.
is this actually a bump or like is this just like a food baby
Mm-hmm.
with an actual baby in there? And then like when the bump pops, you're like, finally. And I don't know about you guys, but like I know some people are like, I don't want to buy any maternity clothes and blah blah. And I was like, Ev it, I'm buying all the maternity clothes. I'm gonna be comfortable. I'm gonna feel good. I'm not just gonna like try and fit in my old stuff. Like when you don't fit in your Lulus anymore, like it's time. It's time for like some new clothes. But did you guys buy new clothes while you were pregnant?
I didn't. I sized up.
See,
I just didn't ever find cute. Like I tried. I bought jeans and stuff, and I don't know. Plus, it was we were still home for work, like all
Mm-hmm.
the time. So I was honestly just in leggings every day. So
Yeah.
did you buy maternity leggings or did you just size up?
just sized up.
Yeah, I sent it on 2 pairs of maternity leggings, and someone gifted me or like lent me maternity jeans, and that's what sold me. I was like, I am going to go get maternity jeans. So, any mom who's listening that's pregnant, that is like, I want a cute pair of maternity jeans. ASOS has great maternity
Mm.
jeans, and Abercrombie, but you can only shop it online.
Mm.
Well, both you only can shop online, but super cute styles where you're not going to like be like, oh, those are maternity jeans. Like, they're just really cute. So, I will say those two, killer. Wait, Savannah.
There
So,
is a gal there is a gal who makes custom Levi's for you and does like
Oh,
a scrunchy band in the back. So it's not super
cute.
noticeable, still buttoned in the front. And so you can grow with it as you grow in your pregnancy. She does them custom for you.
so cute.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wait,
Which
Savannah, were
you can
you?
get.
Oh, sorry, Ari. I keep cutting Ari off today, even before this. So please finish, and then maybe raise your hand, and I'll ask my question.
No, go ahead,
I'm
Jamie. Go
sorry.
ahead. You got to get your words out today.
Savannah, did you just rock a bunch of dresses? Like, what did you do? Because I felt like even when I sized up on things, like it would only fit halfway up my belly or like on the bottom. And then, so did you just rock a ton of dresses, or you just like,
Well, I was like when I got super pregnant, it was winter. So
hmm.
just big sweaters and leggings, and I would just do the high-waisted leggings that would go over my bump. And then typically I would probably wear like a tight tank to kind of hold the leggings up
Smart.
and
Super smart.
kind of hold the belly. But
Okay.
toward the end, I was like, okay, I need something, but it was so late in it. I'm like, okay, I'm almost done. Just suck it up.
It's true. This is what there's a out of like a few women that I know or had known before I got pregnant, they had like they're on their like second, third, fourth kid type of deal. So they had like these boxes of maternity clothes, and neither of them were pregnant at the time. So they had like lent me all their maternity clothes, and it was like amazing. And then once I was done being pregnant, one of them was pregnant again, and now actually the other one's pregnant. So I'm pretty sure our clothes have like cycled back to each other. But I'm like, you guys should honestly, if you're listening, you guys should start that now. If you have a friend, we should do that at one of our
We
walks.
should.
Yeah, also $1 billion deal for a company to have maternity clothes for rent and postpartum clothes for rent.
Newly, it's already
Yes.
there. Sorry.
Newly does it.
Yeah.
Ugh,
The only reason
great
why I
job,
know is because
Newly.
another podcast that I listened to, they like drove advertisement hard when one of the hosts was pregnant. And I heard Newly's advertisement for like 9 months because they just were like using her as their like total prodigy child to be like push our maternity, push our postpartum. But if someone like exclusively did that, brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah. Or even like renting kids' clothes. Because, like,
Yeah.
think of how many things you buy when, like, they just literally wear it once. I bought the kids snowsuits. They wore it once, and then it was like 56 degrees here and foggy. And so I put them in it again because I was like, you're just going to get another use out of it. So, okay, going back to like awkward things that you didn't know about. One thing one of my best friends told me was the water bottle to like clean down there. She's like, I will get you one when it's your turn. And I was like, okay, cool. And like the one from the hospital is actually the one that I end up using, which is literally just what like Costco or whoever puts like not Costco, but like restaurants put like ketchup in. It was just like, psh. Like I had the cool one with like the little like angle thing, but yeah, you just get real comfortable with that little squirt thing.
Literally
You
I mean,
same.
do.
Oh, you could
Did
go,
you
Savannah.
guys ever? I feel like I would get really lazy and not put like warm water in it every time. And so it'd be like the middle of the night and I'd go and it's like freezing and you're like, oh,
Like, oh, which
oh, that's cold.
okay, all the trend this I know I keep bunny trailing on things, but it makes me think about because that too, one also bought the expensive with the L, like so like you don't have to like squeeze down there, you just hold it and it's waste of your money. Anyone who's listening and everyone's
Yeah.
like, oh, get the
Yeah.
bottle, take the free one at the hospital. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
the free one was amazing. Um, But I'm curious now because that makes me laugh, Savannah, when you're like, oh, I just like wouldn't warm it up or anything and just like, oh, little ice bath down there. Um, all of my friends right now have just bought attachments for their toilets to have bidets. And I had never used bidet before. And that was like the first experience because like the first time I did, I was like, this is a little, ooh. But it was like it would get it really clean and it would like really help
Yeah.
things out. And
Yeah.
I someone had recommended, they're like, well, you should just get a bidet and it would be really great just then from here on out. But obviously I didn't get one. But have you guys used a bidet before?
Okay, I have. And I have a bunny trail for everybody. Yes, I have. In the Filipino culture, it actually is more common to do that than like using toilet paper. But like, I mean, I guess my brother's gone to the Philippines and he's like, it can get a little crazy out there. They might just like have a bucket next to the toilet and that's what you use, like a bucket with a scooper.
Oh,
So not like a fancy bidet. However, I have used a fancy bidet because there was one night in San Francisco. that we went to happy hour, and then afterwards one of the girls that we were with was like, hey, this new restaurant just opened, like let's go check it out. And we're like, okay, sure, like we're already kind of, you know, the drinks had been flowing, so I'm like, sure, why not, let's go check out a new restaurant. Okay, we did not know when we walked in that this new restaurant was basically going for their Michelin star.
Cool.
So five of us show up like super chill and literally share one potato, one steak, and like we each got two oysters because it was like super expensive. However, and we were probably like a year or two out of college. Um, went to the bathroom. It became the like trip that all of us took to the bathroom individually because it was like heated seat, bidet, and then we looked up this toilet and we found out that it was like mapped around the country of like where these different types of toilets are because they are just like top quality. So if you're ever in San Francisco and you want to try a fancy toilet, go to Angler. It like looks over the Bay Bridge. It's I think they have their Michelin star now. But it was a unique experience. Like, anyways, that's my long-winded story of using a bidet. It felt very nice. The water was warm. The toilet seat was warm. I honestly didn't know if my friend had just been sitting on the toilet so long that it was warm still. So I was initially weirded out until I saw the sign that like was like on high heat. So yes,
That's so funny.
I have used a bidet.
Yeah. I've used one, but it wasn't a fancy one like Ari. So it was still cold water and it was still a little like, ooh.
Which honestly, like I feel like it's probably a good thing when you just gave birth and like you're like, especially vaginally, like your vagina probably needs some like, you know, some cooling. That's why they have that like cooling spray or like those ice
Mhm.
packs that you make.
Yeah, I still.
You guys can speak to that.
Okay, that's so funny you bring up the packs because that's what had me go viral being pregnant on TikTok. So, what did I call them? Oh, something really vulgar just came to my mind. I'm like, I did not call them that. I was gonna. What came to my mind was um PUSSY packs, but I did not call them that, and I do not know why. I am so sorry, guys. I am not that vulgar, and um, I don't remember what I called them. But anywho, something you guys, I'll find the TikTok video, but I had seen them everywhere, and everyone was talking about like, making the ice packs, freezing them. If you don't know what we're talking about, when you have a vaginal birth, obviously it's sore down there because you just pushed a baby through. And so you have ice packs. There's like a bunch of different ways. The hospital sometimes like will fill a newborn diaper with ice, or they have like the breakable ice packs, or you can make your own at home. So I knew I was going to need to make mine at home because I was like, well, this is the plan. I'm planning on having him vaginally, so I'm going to need these. So I made a video and I'm like super pregnant of putting all these like ice packs together, which all it is a super wide pad, aloe vera, witch hazel, and then you like fold it up and then you put it in the freezer. One, I also learned you shouldn't put it in the freezer because you can give yourself frostbite. You're supposed to move them from the freezer to the fridge and then use them. Didn't know that right away. So that was a fun experience of like, oh, like that is ouchy down there, but everything was ouchy down there. But anywho, I made it, and then that video went to like millions and Can I talk? Sorry. Wow.
How many times can you say meow in a conversation?
Literally.
Meow.
But it went to millions of views. And then all these people started. Maybe that's even if you're listening, you're probably like, yeah, I actually saw that video. And that's why I started following you on TikTok. And that's how I found about the collective. But then I just started talking about all of these pregnancy things and started making all these pregnancy videos because that one went viral. And then I had all these people invested into like when Lincoln was coming. And since Lincoln was late, every day I was like getting these random messages on TikTok, and it was like the best. And people are like, is he here yet? Like, we're waiting for the video. And it was really funny. But yeah, I made those ice packs and I used them. I think what I liked better, and I know Ari, I don't know if it was as applicable, so Savannah, I'm curious. Um,
Hmm.
I didn't like it feeling wet down there because you have the aloe vera.
Mm.
So I ended up just switching and doing like pad, and then I took the witch hazel kind of circle rounds and I put those in
Hmm.
the fridge, and then would put the witch hazel pads, and then I would spray the dermaplane, which also it's so funny on the fact that
Yeah.
you like literally spray numbing cream on your vagine.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's what I did. Savannah, what'd you do?
I did the I took a bunch of the hospital ice packs and I was the same. Like I hated it feeling wet, and so I would just do either the big super wide pads with the witch hazel pads, and that was it. Or if it was like really sore, then that's when I would do the ice pack. But yeah, the spray, all of it.
Oh, oh. Do we got a little lullaby
Dun,
going
dun,
on?
Mm.
dun. No, I turn
Was
off
that
all
your?
my stuff, the notification things at 10 p.m. of being like, get off
Mm.
your phone. It's time to wind down. Do I pay attention
Mm.
to it? No, I usually scroll on TikTok until I fall asleep, but it's a little helpful reminder. Ari, did you, since you had a C-section, what like vaginal care? Because you still have to, because you're still
Yeah.
bleeding. So were you just like
Mhm.
a mega diaper mama, or were you like sore down there too?
I wasn't sore down there, so that is one thing your vagina is safe from, is the soreness. Um, but you still bleed, which I don't. I remember that I did not know that, and I don't know if I didn't know that until after pregnancy, or if I like found out a couple weeks before I gave birth. But yeah, it was diapers over here. Adult diapers with pads sometimes, cuz I didn't like when I first came home, I didn't like the feeling of like the big pad in my underwear. I was like, this is
Hmm.
not comfortable. It doesn't feel like it's going to like hold it in. So like ended up wearing diapers and never thought you'd twin so quickly with your baby. Um but literally had just diapers stocked in each bathroom because I basically like would just change them every time I went to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Um not in the diaper, just for clarification. When I went to the bathroom on the toilet, I would throw away
Imagine
the bloody diaper.
you just like fully embracing and being like,
No,
wow, I don't even have to leave the bed. Like, this is amazing.
absolutely not. I honestly don't. I don't know how much those actually hold because I feel like they were like thin. But yeah, that was kind of the extent of like my vaginal care. I more had to focus on like my C-section scar care of like making sure it was dry, making sure it was clean, making sure like everything was looking normal because it was really raw,
Hmm.
and like clothes obviously rub against it, and you're like you have to like have like different underwear because like you don't want it sitting right there because now C-section scars are like really low. One of my stitches did pop out. That's
Ooh,
like part of my like Ari doing too much too fast. Ian had to
Hmm.
like limit me like going up and down the stairs. And I had to like go to the doctor's office and have them remove it. So that was fun.
ouch.
Um yeah.
That was
Yeah.
something. How long? Okay, well, I'm curious because I had to get stitches too, different place, but how long? um, how long were your stitches in for? Like, did they do internal
Um
stitches that then dissolved and external, or how did they glue it, or like what did they do?
yeah, so they did internal stitches that were supposed to dissolve. Obviously, if they came to the skin too early, they had to just take them out. And then they glued it shut because that's supposed to be like better for scarring.
Mm-hmm.
Is instead of stitching on the top, they just glue the top closed.
How long
Yeah.
do you feel like the stitches? That was like just I'm just so curious because that I felt like my stitches were in there forever. Like, so
Mm.
I had a small tear. She probably did like 4 stitches, maybe. It was on the outside, really tiny. But since it was on the outside, I could feel it all the time. Like even
Mm-hmm.
at my
Ouch.
6 week appointment, I felt like the stitches were like still not like they weren't sore anymore, but like the stitches were there. That was another thing.
Mm-hmm.
I also like I don't know myself down there. Like just that was never like you just don't. I like literally had never even seen what it looked like down there until like all of this season of my life. I was like, I don't even want to know.
Yeah.
Like it's just not me. Hey, if it's you, I commend you because I freaked myself out. So,
Oh
um,
yeah.
anywho,
I was the same.
right? I,
Small tear, stitches were there forever. And I remember one time like getting in the mirror, like trying to see like where are these things as I feel them.
yes, which also I know like they have dissolved.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't gone back to see what it looks like healed. Like, but I'm curious. I also well, I don't know. Maybe you guys could speak from your husband since I have not been with anyone since I was no longer with Lincoln's dad. Um, what were you guys surprised like the first times after like you're like, okay, like let's give it a go? Were you Ari's face? Was it like were you shocked about that or did you feel like you were prepped of like this might be uncomfortable? Did you guys like bleed again like it was like your first time? Was like were you guys expected I'm curious because you're speaking to a woman who literally I haven't had sex in like 2 years. So, no, not that long, but since I wasn't with Lincoln's dad. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
that to me, I'm like someone prep
Oh
me
yeah.
now for the future.
Well, I think my situation was probably a little different. Well, like one, I had the C-section. Two, and I've talked about this with going to like physical therapy for pelvic floor. Um, is like with twins and with the C-section, my like pelvic floor tightened a ton.
Mhm.
So like where some people are scared after pregnancy that it's gonna be like too loose, mine was like, you ain't coming in.
Which that I think is a really crazy thing because that's all you hear is like so many women are like, "Oh my gosh, like I can't am I going to come back? Like is all these things." And that is like such a realistic thing of being like, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's just say this. Even while I was pregnant, we had a conversation with my doctor because at one point when we did attempt to have sex, there was something there. Like it was like, nope, you ain't going in. It was like, nope. It's just it said no. And we brought it up with the doctor. She was like, "Oh yeah, that's probably one of the baby's heads." We're like, "What the heck? I thought that was just a joke in like movies. Like I didn't think that that was real." She was like, "Yeah, he's probably just sitting really low." And I'm just like, "We just
Oh.
touched like nobody tells you. Like everybody
Yeah.
tells you that that's not possible." And apparently it was. So yeah. Anyways,
Oh.
Wait, that's so
Savannah, how was your sex after pregnancy?
Oh, I would say the flip. I feel like it was so painful. And finally, we like obviously have figured it out. But I was like, do not touch me. This was the worst thing ever. But yeah.
Yeah, I remember I would just be like, guys, I'm in my bed when we record, so I felt too close to home just now. But and Ian edits this podcast, so he's yeah.
That's
Anyways, but I remember just being like, just basically like, please just go slow. Like it
yeah.
hurts.
see that
So
makes
yeah,
me
Jamie, I don't know. You know,
you guys will
Maybe
be getting a
why.
call whenever I
Yeah.
meet my future husband. Our wedding I'll be giving y'all a call being like ring 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 yo like actually probably not but realistically we'll probably be having listen for the podcast whenever that happens because it's about to be a funny time being like oh
it'll
by
be
the
interesting.
way this is what it's like after not doing it for years
Mhm.
um
You know, there's things, I forget what they're called, maybe dilators. Was having a text thread with like one of our ambassadors, and like she had sent me something a while ago and I forgot about it. So when I went to go text her, all of a sudden I just saw this picture of like an Amazon item for sale, and looks like just like all these different size dildos, but actually they're just dilators to help your pelvic floor open. So you could start practicing, Jamie,
You
but
know what? I'm good. I'm chilling. Like, I'm good for now. But thanks.
you're welcome. You're so welcome.
Okay, guys, any last one? Like, any one more? Let's each tell like one more story of things that just we are like, well, that happens in pregnancy, or oh, that happens after you have a baby. Could you guys each think of one more and then we'll kind of close it out?
The dark spots. Like, did your
Mm.
armpits get dark?
I got them right here. Like the
Okay,
melasma.
yeah.
Uh,
I didn't get any on my face, which I was like, please don't, because my mom turned
Yeah.
into a raccoon with us. And so I got on my armpits and my vagina.
Hmm.
hmm. I got it
I was like,
on.
is that going to go back to normal?
Well, you hear some women get it like their nipples get darker. I got pretty bad melasma on my face, like a mustache. Like you looked in pictures, you could see it like got darker there. But Savannah, you said under your eyes or around your eyes.
Like right in here, especially when I like was out in the sun too much, they would just
Mm.
yeah.
Did it go away?
Yeah, it went away. I also got this weird like it was like a pink dot right here, and as soon
Hmm.
as I had it the whole time I was pregnant, it looked like almost like a I don't know, like a sty or a pimple, and I would try and pick it
Mm.
all the time. It would just bleed, and as soon as I gave birth, it was gone. I don't know what it
Wow.
was. Yeah,
Wow. I was going to make a
yeah.
joke that Jamie's mustache is still there,
Guys,
but it's not. It's not.
literally, I get my face dermaplaned. I get the
Mm.
facial once a week, and she dermaplanes my face. And
Once a week?
oh, once a month. Sorry. Thank you.
I was like, whoa,
Wow, this
whoa,
I'm a
bitch.
bougie
whoa.
gal. Don't hate.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
I
Jealous.
wouldn't hate. I'd be like, wow, inspiration. Hail the queen.
Yeah.
No, I get it done. She does it once a month, but I definitely still get a hormonal mustache. So that's one of those things. I actually had a friend. This is like, wow, I need to repent for being judgmental when I'm little. So, everyone, this is me asking for forgiveness of being judgmental. But I had a friend who she had a unibrow and would get a mustache literally like junior high, high school. Like her hormones were just like really quick, really fast. And I remember she would get it done. I lived in a small town. So, like, I know this may sound weird, but like in my small town, it was like really normal. There's only one like big gym. Like, knowing you think of like 24-hour and it's like a massive gym. The only one that was near besides the YMCA was like owned privately. And he rented out a bunch of the front of the gym to like a bunch of little salons. So we'd go to the gym and like go hang out and everything. And then she'd go get her lip waxed and her unibrow waxed because her hormones were like just crazy. And I can remember being young and judging her for it. And now I need to repent for it because I freaking shave my mustache once a month because my hormones are that way. And I totally got it kicked back from me and got the melasma mustache when I was pregnant. So this is me. I'm repenting.
Honestly, good thing she was taking care of it, because
Yeah.
she could have just been one of those people that just thought it was like something she had to live with. So
True.
good for her. Good
Yeah.
for her.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Okay.
Oh,
Final thoughts. Any final weird?
not like anything that happens with you yourself. But one thing I never realized, like I'm a social person, but when you have a baby, everyone will talk to you. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
holy cow. Like, I know he's cute, but like, it was nuts how many people everywhere you went, you were guaranteed someone to talk to you. And not just like, oh, they're so cute, but like talk to you. Like they're going to start telling
Mm-hmm.
you about their life. And so I don't know if like babies just like are a signal of like I'm a safe space because I'm a mom. But I can remember like in the few first weeks of being postpartum, especially because I had to be out in public every day because that's when Charlie would do his visits. So we'd be at coffee shops, like literally day. Well, we got out of the hospital when he was like a week old. So like a week old in the in a coffee shop, and like people just like spilling their whole lives to us, and then being like, yeah, I guess. And then that continued on and on and on. And I don't know if you guys also experienced that, but like you have a baby and everyone will come talk to you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
always creeped me out when she'd be like sleeping and they'd like go down and be like covered and like try and lift it up themselves. I'm like, yeah, don't touch my baby. Like,
Yeah. People
you
are
can say hi.
intrusive.
Yeah.
Like, you don't touch adults that you don't know. So why would you touch a child? I remember I used to get like drive-bys, like they would try and grab their leg if they were in the carrier because yeah, I mean with
Yeah.
twins, they're like even more aggressive. And so Ian and we would be strategic. If we had time to chat with people, we'd put them in the stroller because I loved pushing the little bassinet stroller.
Mm-hmm.
But then if we were like, don't talk to us, we put them in the carriers because we're like, we can get in and out and maneuver. But have you guys, I mean, when you guys go out in public without a child, do you just feel like, wow, I'm just like a normal person? Nobody wants to talk to me. This is great. Like, I mean, like people still want to talk, but not like to the extent when you have your child, especially now, this age when they're smiling and waving at them.
Yeah.
It's so
Oh,
crazy.
yeah.
Even now, I go out in public, I don't have a ring and I don't have Lincoln with me. And I'm literally like,
Mm.
I like get morphed back into like a 20-year-old type of deal of like, oh, I'm just another girl in her 20s. Like, it's so bizarre, which I think I told this on another podcast episode. I don't know if we scratched that episode or not, but I had gone out with a friend. I obviously don't have a ring on
Mm.
anymore. We went to a wine bar and this like guy came up and my friend thought he looked like Harry Styles. So she's like, Jamie, like say something. Like she really wanted to talk to him or whatever. Then as we were leaving, these guys had like asked like what we like, oh, do you come with us to the next place? It's literally like 9:45. I'm like, my first response is, I have a baby. I have a baby. Don't talk to me. I have a baby. I have to go home. Literally, that was like my first thing. It was like, I have a baby. No, you can't see him. He's not here, but I have a baby. So no. Um, which was great. I ended up then driving. Well, she ended up driving, dropping them off at a bar. She drove me home. So I was home by 10. And then she went back out to the bar with them. And I was like, that's the life.
Yeah.
But it was funny.
Oh,
Oh.
Well, if you guys have any things that you guys are like, oh my gosh, like you guys didn't even touch this subject of like how funny it was, like when you're pregnant or when, like, after you have a baby, comment on whatever streaming platform you're looking to or listening from, or DM us on Instagram. We are going to start doing like little question boxes on what to talk about for these episodes. We have a few professionals in their specific categories coming up. So all of May, get really, really excited. We are focusing on perinatal mental health. So we're going to have a ton of episodes going deep, deep into different mood disorders, how to spot signs, how to care for it, what resources. We're bringing on our ambassador from Denver. She is a licensed psychotherapist. She has specific certification in perinatal therapy. So we are so, so excited. I'm now going to go into the cringiness. We are wanting this podcast to expand. So if you guys could please like, subscribe, share. If there's an episode that you've listened to, share it on your Instagram. We would love other moms to get impacted by this. We have, oh, this will come out after the market. So I guess then, okay, other news then. Back to the month of May, we are doing a mile a day for the month of May, partnering to work on the mental health. So look for our feed at the beginning of May. We're going to be throwing out some challenges. And with those challenges, we're going to be doing a ton of giveaways, such as like free strollers. We're also working with different brands to celebrate Mother's Day. So there's going to be a ton of giveaways in May, not only focusing on the mental health, but also on the celebration of being a mom. Other than that, if you are looking for mom friends like me, Savannah, and Ari are like, oh my gosh, you guys are cool. I know they're really cool. I have really cool friends. I met them at a mom walk. So met both of them. They came to one of the first walks. And if you want something like this, go to momwalkcollective.com, go to the walk finder, type in your zip code, find a walk near you. If there isn't a walk near you, you can fill out to be an ambassador. And at the first of every month, we will pull all those applications and send you guys the next step. If you filled out an application before and you're like, oh, haven't heard back, we do everything super time sensitive. So we encourage you, put another application in. We'll get to you at the first of the next month. Other than that, Savannah, you want to say anything? And then Ari, you want to close this out?
Just love you, Mama.
Yep, we're super excited. We love you, Mama. Have a good one.
Love you, Mama.